It's me, Queen KB, back for another episode of the Royal Council. Joining me this week, as per usual, is Noble Natalie and Baron Botch. This week, we're going to be discussing our favorite wrestlers of right now. We really, we wanted to, we bounced around going, ooh, should we discuss our, pick three? Okay, pick three. But do you pick three that you love now, three that you loved 10 years ago, 20? So we're picking right now. Pick three, maybe more, depending on how time allows. So let's see. Botch, I can see you sitting there with someone on the edge of your tongue.
Oh, absolutely. I've always got one ready. There's just, we live, this is so existential. We're in such a great time in wrestling where there's just so much ridiculous talent. We could do this for a couple of hours. We won't, but we could. We won't do that too, we promise. But so it's very difficult. Natalie gave voice to this earlier. Like, it's just difficult to nail it down. But I think I've got one that I really like, and it's Jackson Riker. I'm kidding. It's a joke. I'm just kidding. Anyone would be if they said that. But yes. So
wow.
No, the first thought it had to be done. He asked for it.
Yeah.
The first thought that I had was Bianca Belair.
Oh, obviously.
She has absolutely everything. She's got the charisma. Yeah, well, she'll get it. She's got the charisma, she's got the ring work, which she got very quickly, by the way. And she's got the mic. She has all that it takes. And she has tremendous amount of presence. She's great. I can't wait to see her be treated the way that she should be. It hasn't happened quite yet, but I'm just kind of chomping at the bit for it. She was used really well in NXT. She's one of those that kind of, I felt, didn't really need the belt. It wasn't necessary.
Agreed.
It would have been nice if she'd have had it, but she didn't need it. I mean, because usually, at least it was this way before. Maybe not so much now, but I mean, belts were used to make the person. Bianca didn't need to be made. She did that herself, so it wasn't necessary. She kind of reminds me a bit of like, she was kind of like a Roddy Piper type, and that she never really needed the belt in order to matter. But she's absolutely great in every sense of the word.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, she just has meme-worthy faces, so she's great for Twitter.
Her ring gear.
Yeah, the ring gear, which she makes herself, by the way.
Exactly.
And she makes Montez's too, for that matter.
Oh yeah, she does. She does amazing ring gear.
And she put the process in his hair last week, which I thought was kind of fun.
She what?
She put the process in his hair on Monday, the S curl. She put the S curl in his head. There's a Twitter video. She's just extremely talented. This is a very talented, very creative woman who just happens to be phenomenal in the ring and incredibly strong. If you saw the WWE or the NXT Combine from a couple of years back, it was just scary. She was keeping up with the men and then some. So she's just crazy gifted. Can't wait to see her do more. Really excited to see her.
I know I keep saying this, and I feel like it's never going to happen, but I feel like the WWE really needs to do a pound for pound strength test between her and Cesaro, who is known to be the pound for pound strongest on the roster. I'm not saying compare the two. I'm saying pound for pound compare the two.
I think it would be interesting, just a straight up competition between the two. I think would be very interesting, because she was actually hanging with, during the Combine, she was hanging with ACH, or whom we knew then as Jordan Miles, and also with Otis. She hung on far longer than she should have. But she's just incredibly strong and so well coordinated. And I mean, she has everything it takes. It's really only, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And if for some reason, somehow WWE doesn't get it right, somebody else will.
I know, but she should be getting it right with her husband right there.
I think it would be fun. And I mean, the scenes that she's been involved in with them have been fun, but I kind of want to see her strike out utterly by herself, because she can. She doesn't need anybody else to do it. She can do it all on her own.
I agree with that, although I have to admit, when Jimmy comes back, I'd love to see the husband, wife, and bestie, Usos, Naomi, Street Profits, Bianca. That to me is one of the tastiest things I can think of.
I think the Usos heel would be fun in that sense.
What?
The Usos is heel.
Yes, they'd have to be heels.
They could do it. They could
Oh yeah.
absolutely do it. I think because it's just a slight twist of what they already did, just a very slight twist in its heel. Welcome to the Uso Penitentiary is a heel thing. Just
Right.
is. So it wouldn't be difficult at all. So
It
I think it'd be fun.
screams obvious.
I think it does too. And then
They
you
could
killed
do
a
it
whole
in a
bunch of birds with
fun
one
way.
stone. Go ahead, Natalie. I'm sorry.
What?
They can do it in a fun way, which not all heels can.
Oh,
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, they could do it in a very humorous and fun way, and it'd be wonderful to watch. And I would love to see that.
Yes.
I would too. I really would. That would be must-see TV for sure. Easy.
The other person I want to see Bianca work with is Lacey. I want to see it.
As Lacey, as in horrible, hideous heel that she was when she first got there, then yes.
Yes. I just think that the two of them, their ring work together could be very interesting.
Oh yeah. I mean, can you imagine the promos we get out of Bianca?
Oh my gosh, she would rip that nasty apart.
Yes, it would be amazing. I would love it. She's just full. She's full of so much attitude.
Oh yeah,
And I mean that whole thing that she did with Charlotte, where she's like, "You don't even go here." I was on the floor. It was
agree.
It was so good. Like, this woman has it. Come on already. Like,
heck, we could spend a half hour talking about Bianca alone.
preach. Yes, we could.
Yes.
We absolutely could. But we should talk about somebody else now. So what do you want to do, Queen? You're the host.
Okay, Natalie, who are you thinking of for right now? Who do you love?
Well, it's obvious. The first one, Nikki Cross. I absolutely adore this woman. If the merch fit me, I would buy some, especially if they had something that I liked. And in fact, I might buy it if I didn't fit into it, just and make it into something I could wear.
Right.
But,
yeah.
I don't like her merch, but I love her.
Started on WWE merch right now.
She's so good. She's so good. When she first showed up in
the sizing, I don't like it.
Yeah. But anyway, go ahead, Botch.
When she first showed up with Sanity, I thought, well, this is an interesting twist. Because, I mean, it was essentially like three angry dudes, which we've seen 1,000 times.
Right.
But then you had Nikki being crazier than they were. It was like, oh, this has flavor now. Like, now this is interesting. This has spice that it needs in order to make it move.
Even better is that she was in she was in pants and she was in a jacket and she wasn't made up and her hair always looked greasy. It was just water, but no makeup, the hair, she wasn't the typical female wrestler.
No, not at all. She was nuts.
Skinny, scrawny.
She's not.
She had a real woman's figure. Well, not that all women aren't real, but
I know
yeah.
We know what you mean.
Yeah, I'm a fluffy woman, and I could understand where she's coming from a lot better, figure-wise.
Exactly, and I actually commented in the SmackDown write-up I did last week that Nikki has recently lost some weight and is wearing more ring gear, and she's rocking at something fierce. But
so
even
she's not
before
fluffy
she
anymore?
lost the weight, she was running around in sports bras saying, "This is my body, love it or leave it." And I love that. But then again, I adore her husband, and he's got a love it or leave it body if there ever was one.
Yes.
Well, and she can work the ring really well and tell stories with her face every bit as well as Jon Moxley can. Like, she's another one, probably better.
Yes.
And she never runs out of things to say. She shows tremendous heart when she's on the microphone anymore. There was a time when she didn't, but she really does now. She's another one that just kind of has all of it and yet is completely different from anything else that's on the TV right now. Like, she's another one that's kind of must watch.
Yeah, I mean, she's got that crazy attitude sometimes. And I miss seeing that from NXT because I saw it down to Kendra's.
Yeah.
But right now, I mean, she's adorable on top of all that.
She is so cool. And that's, I think, a big part of it is she's cool. If you follow her on Instagram, if you follow her on YouTube, she is always doing something absurd, her and her husband, which I just love.
Yeah.
I love their relationship is kind of a Gargano in some ways, in that they just fit together perfectly the way Candace and Johnny do. They just, I don't know, it works.
It does. There's a very bizarre dynamic between them, and I really like it. It's fun.
Me too. I actually came across their wedding photo the other day online, and it was just so cute and sweet.
Over time, she's become more of a human being.
Yes.
Not just the crazy sanity woman. Like she's more human now, therefore more relatable.
Right.
So.
Well, I hadn't seen her until just before she came to the main roster. It was when she was in NXT. That was, and it was near the end of that, and it's like instant. I instantly was in love with her.
Me too.
Yeah, you just have to watch her. And and especially when she was Insanity, because you were never quite sure what she was going to do, and it was fun watching the rest of the members of Sanity holding her back. Like you would have expected Eric Young to be the problem, and he wasn't. She was. She was the one you had to be careful of. She was the one that was the most dangerous. So it was a whole new spin on that kind of approach that I really liked.
And then they screwed it up when they brought it to the main roster, and we know anyway.
Well, him, yeah, but certainly not her. She changed. No. She changed quite a bit, but changed in very appealing ways.
Exactly.
Then she became kind of the best friend to Alexa Bliss, which we totally missed. None of us saw that coming, and I'm so glad we blew it. But
yeah, I am too.
Fun to watch that.
I love Alexa, and I love the fact that it's Alexa being affected by Bray and the Fiend and all that, and it's not Nikki who's going crazy on her bestie, which is what they teased.
She's like playing the straight man. It's fantastic. And nailing it, by the way.
Yes.
And before then, she was kind of like the yippie best friend. It was a little too much. She just did it. So the woman has range. She really does.
Range. She can work with anyone in the ring too.
Yes, there's that too. She's got great speed. She's well conditioned. She can tell a story in there with just a move set.
And she's not afraid to fly.
Not at all.
No.
Not at all.
No.
No, that's a good pick, Natalie. I agree with you completely.
Really good pick.
Yeah.
I almost want to change my pick because of something that happened last night on NXT.
Right.
Because, and I'll get to my person, but I have to say I am a huge Xia Li fan, and I really want to see them do something with her in NXT because she is so good. But I have to stick with my girl, Mia Yim. I'm screaming from the rooftops on a daily basis just how talented this young lady is. If you haven't seen her work from from TNA, go watch it.
Where have you been? If you haven't seen it, where have you been?
Go watch. Her TNA work or Impact Wrestling work was so much fun. Really bad hairstyles, but so much cuteness. She was so adorable. And I love the fact that, she doesn't come across as the traditional Asian wrestler because she's from California.
She's not. Her dad's black. She's not. So
no, she's half black?
Yeah, her dad's black.
I didn't know that.
Her real last name is Bell. Yeah, her last name's black. Her dad's black. That's why.
I did not know that. I just know that she is amazing.
Yes, she is. And
her
full
character.
Full of attitude. That's what you're trying to say. So much
attitude. The hair, the overall look, the bit. I mean, she. If you didn't know she was California, she was from California by her look as she goes to the ring. She just, I'd like to say she's someone who doesn't need the strap before coming up, but I worry that she does.
I think she might be one who does. No shade either to Mia Yim.
No shade at all.
I think it would help.
But I really think she needs the strap, or even if it's just the tag straps. I think
something.
something.
I agree with you. Yeah.
But that doesn't diminish her work. She is so good.
Agree.
I mean, she is a well-seasoned wrestler.
Well, she'd been around for so many years prior to ever getting to TNA. I mean, exactly. I saw her in Maryland Championship Wrestling when she was with a team called Black Wall Street with Drolix. And Kindred Kamari was his name. There's stuff on YouTube. You can see them all together. And she was kind of like a valet with a serious attitude problem. And she could get in the ring and work. So she's been around for a long, long time. She was around before she ever got to TNA Impact. And certainly long before she ever got to WWE. So this woman came with a lot of experience, and you can tell just by looking at this, as you said, like this woman is seasoned. She knows her stuff.
It just feels like something's not clicking right to move her forward. And I don't know what that is. And it doesn't help that there are so many great talents on NXT, you know. I think Mia and Shotzi would be an amazing tag team personally, but that's me.
I can see that, sure. I never thought of that before, but I can see that.
They just have a vibe. I think it would work really well. And I hadn't thought about it until it just came out. So
yeah, I can see that.
I could see that a lot. So
of course we know what the rumor is. If the rumors are to be believed, then she's in Retribution.
Right. And with
I am scared for her.
Well, you're scared for her?
They're making such a hash out of Retribution. It's just not going well. I know. You can just.
But she should be on the show with her man.
Right, with Keith Lee. Yeah,
but and I understand if they're doing that through Retribution, but you're right. They have screwed up Retribution from pretty much word go.
I mean, the rumor is, for anybody that doesn't know, the rumor is, and we don't know if this is true or not, but the rumor is that WWE, Vince McMahon, whatever, is just kind of making this up as they go along. I don't know if it's true or not, but man, if it doesn't feel like it sometimes, you know? It's not hard to take that leap if that's what they think. No. Maybe that is what's happening. It feels like it sometimes. And they've already made them defeatable. So why should we care?
Exactly.
It didn't even take that much. Exactly. So like why should we care? You know what I mean? It's gotten to that. I'm having a hard time caring because they are toppleable. So what do we do now? Like, where are you going to go now?
They have been from the start or very early on. I mean, as soon as SmackDown, they were beating everyone down. It was all good. They really started to attack Raw and they're beatable.
Well, I mean, really, like this past week, it just didn't take much.
No.
Like, I mean, granted, you know, you had Drew and Keith in the Hurt Business, and that's not nothing by any stretch.
Right. No.
But there were 12 of them.
I know, and they were beaten up by what, 4 guys?
I mean, come on, it's still 6, but either way, like, come on, that's still half as many people, and it's just you've made them penetrable. So you're gonna have to find another way to make me care because that didn't do you any favors, you know. So my point in mentioning that is that I kind of almost hope that she's not in Retribution.
I do too.
She's not one of those, because if she's in Retribution and that stable goes south, and so will she, and that should not happen with somebody that talented and that seasoned and that charismatic, you know?
Right. It shouldn't, but she's not blonde. There, I said it.
But see, I still think she's absolutely gorgeous. Like, she's a
oh
really
my gosh,
pretty
she
face.
is. Oh,
Yes.
she's gorgeous, and don't get me started on that. I'm just going back to the traditional Vince McMahon. She's blonde. She's not blonde.
But Becky wasn't either.
No.
Becky
and neither is Sasha, and neither is Nikki, and
he loves Bailey. Her hair's jet black.
Bailey or Shayna or Nia Jax.
Nyla Jax.
We all knew where I was going as soon as I grunted like that.
It's a thing we do backstage. Sorry, y'all. It's called Nyla Jax forever.
Okay, so Botch, who else do you have that you want to bring up tonight?
My favorites? Okay, I actually have another one that's right at the ready. Cedric Alexander. There's another one. Cedric is one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, see, Natalie knows. See, but I remember seeing him way before he got to WWE. I saw him for the first time in CWF, which is a promotion out of North Carolina.
Yeah.
That Matt and Jeff Hardy actually both came from.
Right.
Brad Stutz does the commentary. There's a bunch of people that have been down there that have come out of there. Cameron Grimes is one who was down there. He was down there as Trevor Lee.
Oh, I knew that.
And was putting on like 50-star matches down there, just blowing people's minds with hour-long Iron Man matches, and he's just ridiculous. Eric Royal is another one who's on his way up, who started down there. It was just phenomenal. So there's a lot of guys down there that are just great, and Cedric was one of them. And I watched him for a long time down there, just blow people's minds. And when he finally got called up to 205, I was so excited. And unfortunately, when he got to 205 in a scripted environment, while his work remained incredible, something went wrong on the mic, like horribly so. And I lamented it.
He couldn't emote on mic. He couldn't emote in the ring. He was dead.
See, he could do, to my eyes, and he could do it in the ring. He just couldn't do it on the microphone. Like on the microphone is when it was just
in the ring.
He was just dead on the mic, just nothing. So, but thankfully, thank you MVP for so many things, for real.
Yes.
But the fact that MVP has shown up has done him so many favors. Him and Ricochet, and you remember the guy that's leaving WWE, that one.
Yeah, that one. The one that everyone keeps claiming is leaving.
Right, because apparently he is. If must be true, right?
Obviously, if the dirt sheets are
ready on the internet, right?
Absolutely, he must be halfway out the door
Obviously.
by now. Gosh darn all the heck! But he's doing him favors, Cedric favors, Lashley favors, Shelton Benjamin favors.
Oh yes.
Who am I missing?
WWE favors, Shane McMahon favors by what he's doing in Underground. I mean. And the thing is, when MVP came back, I was over it all. I was because he was going to do a match or two, and then he was going to work out back.
Apollo Crews.
Smokes, what a change.
Apollo Crews is the one who may have benefited the very most from it. But it's interesting, like when you see them all cut promos, especially if it's like, not necessarily so much Ricochet, although maybe even slightly, but certainly if you see Cedric do it, if you see Apollo do it, you really hear the MVP-isms. It's so funny.
It is, but it's working. And I have to say that this group of wrestlers might not have gotten the chance had COVID not hit the way it did.
There's that too, yeah.
And I will give WWE big props for using them the way they have, but not making it look as obvious as they could have.
Oh, I agree, because they could very easily have just made it Nation of Domination Redux.
Exactly, and they didn't, and I'm thrilled that they didn't, because if they had, they would have been filleted in every direction for it, because that's the easy way out.
It is, and there are people saying that they've done it on Twitter, and it's like, are you even watching the show? Like, it doesn't look like that.
So different.
Yeah, completely, utterly different. But I mean, but still, if we go back to Cedric for a second, but the one thing that has never failed in this entire time is his ring work, and I mean,
so good.
He continues to emote there.
Yep.
He's the fastest worker I think I've ever seen this side of ACH.
Yep.
He's not afraid to talk in the ring, just enough in order to get the story across. He's absolutely phenomenal in the ring. It's disgusting. And now that the mic thing is finally coming together, like it's finally, there it is. Like that's the guy I was seeing in CWF. And I remember mentioning when he turned heel, I'm like, I've already seen this. I know he can do it. And he's really doing it. It's just even better than I thought it would be. So.
I love that his own wife was yelling at him from AEW to turn heel, yelling at him on Twitter to turn heel. It was beautiful. And it was so touching to me, just watching a wife be so sweet and supportive in such a silly way, because the way she posts those things is kind of silly and really cute.
Yeah.
And she's not at all cutesy as Big Swole, but when she posts about him, it's adorable. It's just so cute. And when his own wife is screaming for him to go heel,
Yeah,
You could
it's just, it's really cool to watch him really get it. You know what I mean? To really get the shot and really making the most of it. This is really fun to watch, and I'm excited for where this all goes with him. So,
especially since we thought it was going to happen a couple of years ago with 205.
I know.
And
Unfortunately, he
so
couldn't come. He really just needed MVP. That's what it seems to have come down to. He just
I
needed
agree.
a few minutes with MVP to kind of to help him a little bit. So this has been fun to watch. It really has.
It has been.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
Natalie, who else do you have?
Well, I kind of have to go with Cedric's wife, Big Swole. I adore her. She's got attitude, going, just oozing outside her pores, and she can wrestle, and she looks great. But I love the attitude.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So
And
much
I'm
greatness
always,
in that little body.
yeah, I'm always going, oh, they wrestle good and they look good, but she's the only one whose attitude puts her over for me.
I agree.
She's got, yes.
And I fully admit that I've said this about Shannon Doherty before. That Big Swole has a reason to have attitude. She's a crony. Anyway, it's my thing. I talk about, you should have, if you have a chronic ailment such as this, and Botch understands Crohn's disease and how hard it can be, as he's dealt with it in his family.
Yeah,
but,
my mom's got it. Yeah.
And
Or had it.
But seeing somebody so much passion and so much everything the way she does, and I know that what she's dealing with in the background in her life, and it makes me respect her that much more in so many ways.
Yeah, she's fighting, like, for real.
She really is. She's another one who makes ring gear.
She does. Yeah,
she makes ring gear.
She does.
Big Swole makes her own ring gear too.
Yep.
I mean, it's
yeah.
I'm gonna
great.
go.
She looks great.
Yes.
I have to say one thing too. Like, if I could just, I know you want to get to yours, and I don't want to stop you either. But
no,
it's
that's
like
okay.
when you get into like that feud that she had with Britt has come along very, very well. She was greener than grass when she first got to AEW.
Oh yes.
And I thought, well, this is a disaster, isn't it? Where has Adam Cole been for his wife? Don't you love her? Like, it just wasn't working.
No.
Bless her heart. And then over time, she fixed it, but none of this would have worked anywhere near as well if she hadn't had to deal with Swole. Like, Swole made that whole feud work. I mean, it's not that Britt wasn't involved. She was. I'm not stupid. I was watching, frankly, Rebel what Reba was too. Reba was fun. But you can't, that character doesn't work if you don't have somebody equally as strong on the other side to battle with. And man, did she. I couldn't agree more with Natalie. Like, she has attitude for years.
Yep.
She's just got so much vinegar. Yes.
Doesn't have to say a thing. You just see it. She can be silent, and you've got attitude.
That's what it is. There's this inherent presence that she has that is very, very rare, but she absolutely has it. And it's just, she can just stand there and throw daggers at you without saying a word.
Or pieces of paper.
And on top of that, she's absolutely gorgeous.
Oh, yeah, she is.
This is a beautiful, I hate to keep taking it to that.
No, I get it.
But beautiful is beautiful, and she is.
She
on
is.
top of the attitude and everything else. And she's absolutely fabulous in the ring, too.
Yep.
I've seen her on the indies work with people who don't deserve to work with anyone of that quality. And she's really picked them up and made matches where matches should not be. So she's excellent. I completely agree with that pick.
Yeah. My pick is somebody who could not do that before, and he so can now. Before, you'd put him in the ring and it's like, okay, I see Slater, I see Jinder, who's that other guy who's boring and all we don't care about? And now he is the WWE champion, and he is worked so hard to get there. This is a man I truly said, when I was writing about him, his original run was, that this person is not worth the time, is not worth the film, is not worth the pyro, is not worth the music, is not worth any of this. I truly did not think he had anything in him. And I still fully blame his ex-wife for why he was released from the WWE. She is the one who picked that fight in the lobby of the hotel that WrestleMania was happening in. She picked the fight in the lobby, and they both got fired from it. She did really well in TNA Impact, but he floundered. It wasn't working. He was gone, and I thought that was the end of it. When they said he was back, I was not thrilled. And oh my gosh, I don't understand how someone could be that bad and be this good.
Say his name.
Drew McIntyre.
There you go. It hadn't been said.
We all knew who I meant.
No, we knew. It just, maybe they didn't.
Yeah.
3MB was like a gift for him back then. He did not even stand up to Jinder Mahal.
Oh.
He was so bad. And we all know how much I love Heath Slater. And I thought they had straddled Heath with the biggest mess ever. And now he's back as WWE champion and can work with anyone.
Yeah.
And has. I mean, I feel horrible for him that his run has been so quiet in that there aren't any fans there to cheer for him.
Yeah.
But he's really, from what I've seen him talk about on WWE Network, he's really come into his own and discovered that, this is what his run is and this is how it's going to be. And he is having a blast with it. And I mean, he can work with anybody and has. He's just making it look so easy after being so bad back in the day.
Yeah, he was utterly bland for a very long time. Shawn Michaels picked him to be next, and we all thought, has Shawn Michaels taken leave of his senses?
Yep.
And then he got fired from WWE, and that woke him up. It was that happened because he showed up in TNA. I think it was still TNA at that point. He showed up in TNA, and instantly he was miles better, just immediately. It was like, where was this guy in WWE? And it's just that's what it took to shock him.
Yeah.
He spent a lot of time in the indies working with a bunch of different kinds of people, getting better in the ring. And by the time he got back to NXT, he had all the stuff that he was missing when he was there the first time, like all of it.
What I never understood, or I still don't understand in some ways, is that he's always been a really big guy, but back then he did not come off as big in the ring. He seemed like he was a cruiserweight in his head, and he didn't feel like a big tall guy back then. His mousy hair, his mousy demeanor, his mousy everything.
Yeah, agreed.
He felt like he was 5'9" in there. And now he stands tall and you believe that he is a big man. I just find that so interesting that he almost is physically different to look at now.
Agreed.
Because of how he carries himself. I just find it enthralling. He's very interesting to me.
Yeah, he is. And he wears the scars of all that he's been through to get back very, very clearly. He's just, just as you intimated, he's just a totally different guy. It's really nice to see, and he's totally believable this way.
Oh, absolutely.
So, this is no Jinder Mahal experiment. Like, this is the real thing.
Exactly. So. That's the difference. When Jinder was champion, I didn't believe it.
Not at all.
I believed Drew was champion.
No, because he would get in the ring and just blow it left and right, and his promos felt like exactly what they were. It just, nothing worked. but this is working. This is an elevation, I believe.
Agreed. And I will fully admit, I can't believe I'm saying this, and there'll be proof of it, but maybe Sam is a little right. Not that it should be for the championship, but that they do need a little bit of a feud between him and Mahal somehow, some way, just to, I don't know, just like give us a month of it when he's not champion and let him beat Jinder Mahal down, and we'll be good. I know. I can't believe I'm admitting this on a format that will be out there forever. Okay, Botch.
And I'm not saying a word because I don't remember Jinder Mahal at all. And I know I've seen him in a match or two.
Oh, gosh. Good. The horror.
Good.
Okay, Botch. Who else do you have? Come on,
another
give
one.
us.
Okay, so this is another one who is perceived to be far newer than he is. I watched him on the indies. I watch a lot of indie wrestling, in case you can't tell, because I want to see who's next, darn it.
Right.
But I watched him as he debuted on the indies as Will Rude about 9 years ago. He was significantly smaller than he is now.
Oh,
okay. But there was something there. It wasn't in the way it presents now, but something was there. He was kind of more, he was a little nicer, but he was more scientific. He wrestled like the size he was. He was a good bit smaller. Over time, he got bigger, as you know now, gained a whole lot of muscle, a whole lot more attitude, and changed his name to, I believe, what is his given name, and he has become Will Hobbs. It has been my distinct pleasure to watch him evolve from this kind of somewhat smaller guy into the absolute monster that he is now. He debuted on AEW Dark, where we just kind of automatically assume all indie guys go to die.
Right.
And he was in matches, but you could tell even when you watched him that he floated like a foot higher off the ground than just about everybody else did that they were bringing in. And it was obvious to me anyway, and I think to a lot of others too, based on my Twitter feed, that there was something here and that it bore investigating. And then he showed up in the Casino Battle Royale on All Out. Disaster of a show. There were so few bright spots. And that was one of them. And not only was he in the Battle Royal, but he lasted a really long time. And his interactions in the ring indicated that there was really something going on here. We've gone up another level here. Surely Tony Khan is going to see this, and lo and behold, I think it was just day before yesterday, he was signed by All Elite Wrestling. And now he will be in an absolutely fantastic six-man tag team match next week involving the title holder, Jon Moxley, and Darby Allin, which makes me very happy. So
all I've seen of the guy is the run-in that he did at the end of Dynamite this week when he rescued Mox. He has an impressive look to him. I'm excited. You said he's much bigger now. He bulked up.
Much.
But can he still move like he did when he was smaller?
He moves differently.
Does he have speed? Can he fly at all?
Yes.
Still.
It's all possible. All of it remains possible even at the size he is now. He can still do all of it.
I'm excited for next week.
I am too. The only thing I haven't heard much of is talking. But he does a lot of talking in the ring, and he emotes well. He sells well, which a lot of guys don't. A lot of the newer guys, he's not newer, but he's new-esque, if you will. But that art is kind of going away, and he does a really nice job with that. He wins on Twitter on a regular basis.
Which I know you love dearly.
Yes, I love it when they win on Twitter. It's fun. But he's kind of like the one that I'm looking at and going, he's kind of got next. So
really?
Oh yeah, I really think he does. If he's used properly, he got next. Nice and easy.
Nice. So, Natalie, do you have another name for us?
Natalie for the last one.
It's hard to pick from them. So I'm going to go with the younger one because, yeah, MJF.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Because if you hadn't, I would. And I really want to go with this other person for my final one. Bravo.
Between him and Moxley, and I've enjoyed watching them together.
Oh my gosh, their feud has been amazing.
Yeah, and MJF is good no matter who he's feuding with. But this one has been awesome. Yeah. Yes, Botch, I picked a heel. Me who doesn't like heels.
I know, right? Well, you're not supposed to. That's the idea.
If you haven't been watching our shows, Natalie is the traditional wrestling fan who hates the heels and loves the faces. So this is huge that she picked MJF.
It's real to her, darn it, as they say.
Exactly.
He's the only man I've picked so far.
Yeah, he is so good. And I think if he can stay healthy, he could really be the I don't want to, the Hogan, Savage, Austin.
He'll be better.
He's right up there. He's gonna be
over the top ones. That get really big.
Yes, but I'm saying the top name in the industry will be MJF at some point.
Yes.
No question in my mind.
Sure. Yeah, that's
if he leaves the bathrobes in the bathroom.
Yeah, he's really having problems with those robes, which I shouldn't say anything because, I can't give MJF heat for his robes, but man, he needs us to be making his robes because they're sucking. Okay.
Listen to her. He's the most compelling heel on the screen at this point in any promotion anywhere. You look at him and you hate his guts, and that's exactly what's supposed to happen. He likes no one.
You love him. So good at it.
Yes, he has no friends, not even Wardlow, as we just found out a couple of weeks ago. He has no allies. He has no friends. Wardlow works for him, and that is it.
Yep.
It's great. So there's no weak spot. He's genius. He's just genius.
And I don't see any ceiling for him. He will just keep evolving. He gets it in a very old school way that is so beautiful to see in somebody so young.
And he doesn't break kayfabe ever.
No, he doesn't. You never know what's real and what's not, and I love that about him.
So do I. I wish more did it, honestly.
Me too.
There's your old school wrestling fan. I miss kayfabe.
I miss kayfabe, yet I will not put up with anybody, I won't name any names, calling out those who break kayfabe, such as Sonya and Mandy being in the same house together.
That's a
stuff
whole
like that. Is there's a line that you have to live your life as well.
We should keep that as its own episode for real. Like, I think that would be fun to go into as its own episode. Like, just talking about kayfabe itself versus reality. That'd be a fun episode. You guys just gave us an idea and you didn't even know it. Just by sitting there and watching, you gave us an idea.
Thank you.
Yes, please.
Okay, my last person. I have been watching him since 2012. I just looked today. I didn't realize he's 37. I thought he was younger than this. But if you go back and read the episode of NXT I reviewed this week, I talk about just how great he is and how he deserves gold beyond 205 gold. And that is, I almost called him by his other name, that is Drake Maverick.
Oh, yes.
Sure.
I almost called him Rockstar Spud because that's when I first saw him in the TNA British Boot Camp.
Yep.
And something about that little man. And then those suits he wore. Oh my God, the suits on TNA were just epic.
Yeah, they were.
Man has to have the best closet for the shortest people in the world. No, not really. He's 5'7".
Yeah.
No,
That's
he's not.
tall to
I
me.
apologize. Sorry. No, he's 5'4".
Yeah, he's shorter. Yeah. I mean,
He's
not
he's
short,
short.
but shorter. Yeah.
He's shorter than Ray by 2 inches, and Ray outweighs him by about 35 to 40 pounds.
Okay.
And I looked that up because Ray was WWE World Heavyweight Champion. And I was trying to figure out where Drake would fit in the WWE beyond 205. And I think he absolutely could carry the North American Championship or the IC or the US Championship. I think he could run with any of those and no one would bat an eye because he is that good.
He just has the support. It's like you can't not love the guy, you know? I think it'd be very interesting to see him try to be a heel. I wonder if he could pull. He could probably no, but I mean like on his own in like WWE style. Like, could he do it? I wonder. He probably could. He's talented enough. I just wonder what that might look like.
We saw him do it in Impact. He was a really good heel. He was a bumbling heel, but he was a good heel.
No, but I mean, I'm talking like WWE style heel. Like actual.
I think he could do it.
Like actually, I think he probably could too. I think it'd be fun to see. But as a face, I like him too because it's like you just have to root for him. I mean, remember that whole thing when he lost his job because of COVID-19, and you know they were
talk about not looking at the books before you fire people. Hello.
Yeah, well, I mean, they let a bunch of people go that they should go rush.
I know.
But sorry, I've got this nasty cold. But so
yeah, don't agree with you on that.
But there was this whole like he kind of almost incited this movement, you know.
Yes.
Because everybody was on his side. Like you had to root for the little guy, but not even just the little guy. It wasn't even just his size. It's more complicated than that. It was the fact that there was passion. I mean, I don't know that I've ever seen that much passion in a wrestler this side of Tommy Dreamer. I mean, you can tell he just loves this. He absolutely loves it.
Yep.
And it just comes through his pores. And it's just fun to see him in the ring. And it's fun to see a guy get in the ring with that much passion. And he's got the skill set for days.
Oh, yeah. I
mean, the matches he had with Santos Escobar were just, the stuff he's done with him was just back when he was Phantasma, which is fabulous. He's just been so much fun to watch. And that feud was fun. I want to see him in something else now. Get him like a real feud where we can really kind of get behind him again. He can really tell that story because he's so good at it.
I think they're starting to do that with Killian. There's something going on with Maverick and Killian that really, it's a slow start, but I think they're going somewhere interesting with it. I hope.
So yeah, and they both have enough nuance to pull it off because Killian's no slouch either in the character department.
Oh, I agree.
And it almost feels like there's going to be this uneasy alliance between the two of them, and eventually Killian's just going to fall in love with the little guy kind of thing.
Yep, and the little guy is going to screw him over something fierce.
That could be fun to watch too. I wouldn't mind that, but seeing them together would be fun. Yeah, that's a good pick. I wouldn't have thought of him, but that's a good pick.
And
I loved what he did with R-Truth.
And I was just going to say, we need to honorable mention R-Truth because R-Truth deserves the honorable mention here tonight.
Yes.
I honestly, I was trying to decide between R-Truth, MJF, and Drake Maverick, and because R-Truth is a national treasure.
I was literally just about to utter that phrase, and it came from Dre. But it's like he needs to be protected at all costs.
He does,
He's perfect.
But oh my God, could you imagine Drake Maverick running with R-Truth and Little Jimmy? I mean, there's just so much they could do.
Little Jimmy for Hall of Fame.
R-Truth like 2 weeks ago said that Little Jimmy was in a juvenile detention center, and then last week on the show, he threw the belt to Little Jimmy. What the heck is going on? Is he out? Is he out of the juvenile detention center? What did he do to get in there? So much needs to be discussed.
And do you care? It doesn't matter. It's entertainment. Who cares? You can put him in the circus for all I care. I'll never. It doesn't matter. He's fun. It's all
exactly. And not just is R-Truth fun, but he's old and fun.
Yeah.
He doesn't wear that age at all. You'd never know.
No, he does
ageless.
not.
He's ageless.
He hasn't changed in 20 years.
Not at all.
If anything, like Dustin Rhodes, he's even better.
Yeah, he really
I don't get it. What's with the guys approaching 50 who can kill it better than they could in their 20s?
Yeah, what is he? I think he's 48 now, yeah?
Yeah, I think he's maybe a year older than you and I, Botch, but that's it.
Yeah, but yeah, he's ridiculous. And Raw Talk is watchable purely because he's there. Like, you gotta watch Raw Talk because he's there. It's just watching him mess with Shayna Baszler is all the fun that I never thought I needed in my life.
Oh, that's definitely
send me that link.
Oh, it's yeah, you and I will be watching that later, I'm sure.
You need to. Just watching them both go off on each other about hot sauce is just watching Shayna nearly crack his life.
Also, speaking of life, is R-Truth's game show. Hello?
Yes.
It's on the WWE Network. Just watch it. It is so worth it.
Yeah.
I mean, the greatness of it. It is perfect R-Truth in the best possible way.
The man's an absolute riot.
R-Truth is absolutely where we should be ending off tonight.
Agreed. Yeah.
He's just so amazing.
Yeah.
As is everyone we discussed tonight.
Yes. Great picks, everybody. I like all those picks.
Me too.
Yeah.
So I have to go through all this fun stuff because it's what we do. Make sure down below you subscribe and you hit the little bell so that you get a ding when our next video drops. And leave a comment. Tell us what you think. We want to know. Talk to us. Talk to us here. Shoot me an email, queenkb@wrestleroyalty.com. I will email you back. Find us on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, all those fun things, which I'm sure Botch will put links to underneath here. And I think that's about it for this week. For Wrestle Royalty, we have Baron Botch, Noble Natalie, and I am Queen KB. Bye!